Okay, our first example is we want to know how much sales tax will you pay on a color TV that's priced at $299 if the sales tax rate is 5%. Okay, we want to know how much sales tax will you pay on a color TV priced at $299 if the sales tax rate is 5%. Now remember, the first thing we do when we do a percent application problem is we need to identify the percent, the base, and the amount. We want to identify the percent, the base, and the amount. Now the percent again is going to be fairly easy to find. It's going to be very obvious. Since it's 5%, the percent is 5. The base is, what is that tax rate on? What's the sale tax on? It's on the price of the TV. It's not the sales tax, it's the price of the TV. That's what the percent is going to be taken of. So that means the base is the cost of the TV, which is going to be $299. Which says the amount, or the sales tax. Again, notice the sales tax is our amount, and that's going to be our unknown X. Okay, again, 5 came because it was 5%. 299 was the base because that was the price of the color TV. That was the price of the color TV. When you went in, that was what the tag said, or this is the amount they found you and the dealer finally agreed upon. That's your base, and the amount is the amount of tax you're going to pay on that. So now we want to set up our proportion. Remember, it's amount over base is equal to the percent over 100. So we need to fill in these values. The percent was 5, the base was $299, the amount is what we're looking for. So that's the proportion we set up using this problem. Now we've got to back and remember, how do we solve a proportion? A proportion is solved by cross multiplying, multiplying the extremes and setting that equal to the product of the means. So we're going to multiply x times 100, and then we're going to multiply 5 times 299. Cross multiply, and that gives us 100x is equal to 5 times 299, so we need to multiply 5 times 299 on our calculator, and we get 1,495. We get 1,495. Now remember, we get that because we're multiplying 5 times 299. Now to find the value of x, we divide both sides by what's with the unknown. So we're going to divide both sides by 100, and now 1,495 divided by 100 turns out to be $14.95. So the sales tax that we're going to be charged is $14.95. Now again, what we did is we looked at, it said that we want to find the sales tax that we're going to have to pay on a color TV priced at $299 if the sales tax rate is 5%. We want to identify our percent, our base, and our amount. Percent again was obvious. The base is what the original price was. What are we being charged? And the amount of $299 is what's being charged. The sales tax is the amount, the percent that we get when we multiply by 5%. So x is going to be what we're looking for. It's the amount of tax. Remember, the amount of tax is our amount. Set it up in our proportion using the percent proportion formula, and we get the amount over the base is equal to the percent over 100, and then we solve the proportion and come up with $14.95 as our answer. So our sales tax was $14.95. If you still have questions, you can go get a lab instructor or tutor to help you with these. Okay, let's look at our second example. The second example says that 4,800 people, or 12% of all passengers holding tickets for TVM Airlines, did not show up for their flight. How many people held tickets? 4,800 people didn't show up for their flight. I hope they didn't pay for it. Okay, let's see. 4,800 people, or 12,000 of all passengers holding tickets for TBM Airlines did not show up for the flight. How many people held tickets? Well, we've got to identify our percent, our base, and our amount. Okay, so the percent must be 12%, so it must be 12. Our base is, what are we taking the percent of? The percent is being taken of all passengers. Okay, we're taking 12% of all passengers. Did they tell me what all the passengers holding tickets were? Okay, 12% of all passengers holding tickets. Do I know how many people were holding tickets? Okay, that says how many people held tickets. That's apparently what we're looking for. 12% of the passengers holding tickets. That's what we're looking for. So the base must be our unknown, which means that 4,800 must be our amount. Okay, 12% was given, very obvious, but 12% of all passengers holding tickets. And we don't know how many people held tickets. That's what we're looking for, so that means our base is our unknown, which means 4,800 must be our amount. Now, putting this into our percent formula, amount over base equals percent over 100, filling in the unknowns. The percent was 12, the amount was 4,800, and our base was X. Now what we want to do is cross multiply to solve this. So we're going to multiply 4,800 times 100, and that should equal the cross product 12 times X. So let's multiply 4,800 times 100, and that's going to give me 480,000. And 12x on the right side of the equation. Okay. Now what we want to do is divide by both sides by 12. And 480,000 is going, divided by 12, is going to give us 40,000 passengers. There's 40,000 people that held tickets. X represented how many people held tickets, so that means that 40,000 people held tickets. Now, does this make sense? Does this make sense? If we had 12%, that's not a big amount. There were 12% that didn't show up. Does 4,800 out of 40,000 sound about right? Yeah, because 4,800 is not a lot compared to 40,000. Okay, 4,800 to 40,000, more than 10%. Okay, any questions on these? If you have questions, make sure you go and ask the lab tutor. Okay, so the 40,000 is the answer we were looking for. Okay, let's look at our third example then.